Yo, just recorded this entire thing with my microphone off. I'm having a great time out here. That took 15 minutes out of my life. But today we have for you a really boring mirror match, for which we will use not to discuss how to play the game, but more importantly, how to combo well and the small intricacies you can get out of it, right? So let's get started immediately. You can see I'm going second here against Fizz Khalifa. They are playing the same deck, but with Crossout in the main. You can choose to do this. I don't quite like Crossout as a card. It doesn't do enough for me, but it's going to do a lot in the mirror, right? So activate Perulia, Chain Ash, activate Wanted, standard stuff. The plan here is to Ash on the D-Mod, that way they can't bridge. I think Diabellstar Send Deception is a mistake, because if you get Bailored on this Diabellstar, you feel really bad. Diabellstar plus 1 discard is still technically full combo, it's just more awkward. However, that awkwardness is not worth losing the entire combo to a Veiler or an Imprim, which are pretty commonly played right now, right? So I would keep the Deception, and then I would ditch the Perulia, right? But I digress, right? Activate Deception, going to D-Mod. I plan to Ash them here, because if they get into Souls, it's just going to be Souls. Send the bridge, and then it's all over, right? So we just go Ash here, cross out for the Ash, and now the game's over, right? But I do want to talk about this combo while I fast forward it. Soul, send the bridge, make a Link 1, Deception, grab Hollowed for Murcielago for Wanted, go into Cross Sheep, put back, grab that Hollowed back, Hollowed, send that Wanted, go for Ilya Sylvia for Souls, Protect Code, Firewall, Protect Code summon itself back, Firewall add back that Black Chaos, oh my gosh, it just keeps going, Mind Shuffle for Archfiend, send, grab Black Chaos. Okay, a couple things we have to talk about here. One, when you summon the Black Chaos, you always have to wonder what spell am I adding back. Most of the time it's Light and Darkness Ritual, but in the times in which you have like better things like a Wanted Engrave, like especially in this case where you have a spare one that you don't have to use for the draw, right? It's really important to have a Diabellstar in rotation just to have another body for Mind Shuffle, so you might as well get the Wanted back instead of the Ritual. If you ever draw into another Diabellstar, right, or find another way into it, it's a free discard for Souls. And that's about it. We have to think about with bodies here, right? We're just going to Skull Archfiend summon back, make Xena, send Albion. We can think about how we have an extra body here, technically, right? I guess? No, not really. If you want to keep the Dark Chaos on field, we don't have an extra body. So what we can think about is we can just bring back Archfiend Souls, right? Or we can bring back basically any Dark and Souls, and then Souls send an extra card here. Yeah, because the Light and Darkness Ritual, when it adds back, we'll get access to another copy of Black Chaos, right? And we can discard Black Chaos to place another trap, and thereby, when we summon back Souls, we have an extra card to send. Just something to think about, right? And we'll see here they do that exact line, right? Black Chaos plus extra trap. I don't believe they end up drawing with this, so this extra trap looks kind of stupid, and we would have rather kept the Black Chaos in hand. However, if they had played correctly, there would have been an extra card in hand, which is important. I think this was weird. I think going through SP is wholly unnecessary in this specific instance, just because we could also draw. But, well, with a very big but, SP could be deemed more valuable than the draw in this case, especially since it's pre-side, right? We haven't actually seen anything good yet. There's already an Ash Blossom outside of our deck, so maybe we don't want the draw, right? We already have Virtuous access. We only have 2 Ash Blossoms left in a 25-card deck. The probability isn't fantastic on that, so maybe going for SP is corrected. But again, it's options, right? It's things to think about. Wanted draws into Diabellstar, which now I would have rather Soul sent the Wanted, right? But grab Virtuous here, and at this point, it's impossible for this player to win. Me, especially if we draw a Mind Shuffle. Ooh, that one hurts. Draw face nonsense on this side. Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Diabellstar send Skull Chain Link 1, Diabellstar Chain Link 2. SP remove the Diabellstar body. Add back Ritual. Well, Deception Tribute first to bait out the Virtuous, because what we have to do is we have to go over the Ilya Sylvia. So we're going to Skull Archfiend, put back his follow-up, plus the Quartet in Bloom that's coming back. Go battle, hit over this. And then at this point, we can freely Ritual, basically. But the problem is there is still a balance for a Blackluster that will remove our Ritual as soon as it hits the field. So what was the point of it all, right? We still have Mind Shuffle here and a Deception set. So when the Diabellstar comes back, we have a Mind Shuffle. We have a body for Mind Shuffle, but they have SP on the field, so it's wholly pointless. As soon as we activate Mind Shuffle, they just can't SP. But you can put your opponent on Make a Mistake. They do draw Virtuous for turn here, which is unfortunate because I just lose. At the point right there, 1, I forgot to return off of SP. 2, well, it was lethal on board, right? So what can you do? Here we see they open Perulia and I open Garbage because now I can't get to Skull Archfiend. Skull Archfiend needs a Ritual on deck to resolve, so we have to go through a kind of an awkward line here. They start Perulia, which sucks. Records grab Griffoh. Griffoh, place the trap grab. We have to grab Archfiend and then discard a Ritual, then special the Archfiend from hand, which again, this sucks. It is arguable that I should have gone for a Black Chaos, put back, just summon that, give them 1 draw, and then I still technically have Mind Shuffle with 2 bodies in hand, but then I don't have Griffoh for the hats, and I was like, I'll give them a draw for a negate, right? So, going through this line specifically just enables us to get a negate, which I think is interesting, because we can just add back the Griffoh. And Griffoh will get us to hats, which we have post side. Funnily enough here, you can banish the Albion here, because you can just add back the Virtuous anyways. Woo! And then Anti-Spell has me feeling pretty confident. We Griffoh first before we Anti-Spell, that way the Magical Hats is still usable, because it was set before the activation of Anti-Spell. Here is a little weird, because as you'll see here, they get access into Black Chaos, and theoretically I should lose the game from here when they have access to Black Chaos, because 2 things can happen, right? 1, they can go Black Chaos effect to force me to tag out into my Black Chaos, at which point they will go battle, beat over it, and then from there, they should be able to just make an SP out the Anti-Spell and then blow my whole field up. Like, systemically, just remove every card from my field. Or alternatively, I will have the Black Chaos on field already. I don't have the opportunity to tag it out when they use the effect, because otherwise my cards are removed. And then go over, I lose anyways, right? So in either case I lose. I'm putting them on Make a Mistake and not realize that you can go to battle phase with this card. So we just wait, and we'll see what happens. There is a point here, right? I think it is right here, in which I should acknowledge that if they make SP, and then SP target Fragrance, force me to tag back into Black Chaos, and then go battle, they can do it. But at this point, I'm like, they forgot the first time, so there's no way they remember the second time, right? Which they don't, which is fantastic, but theoretically, I should be Virtuousing the Anima on someone just to prevent this exact thing from happening, right? Other instances of SP they can make would require a link to, at which point they are removing the Black Chaos from the field. I've seen them go through all of the bodies they can go through without a spell, I believe. So at that point, you know, I just win the game because of anti-spell, so And at this point, they have no bodies. They have 4 sets. I could lethal them with or without anti-spell up, right? So we just go next. And then here, you know, another very uninteresting game because of my favorite card, Crossout Designator. But a lot of things to consider going first from this game. One is Crossout Griffoh, right? I think that's valid. I do think we should have chained Griffoh, just because Griffoh is a better starter than Black Chaos, and we might as well just keep the Black Chaos in hand in that case. There's no reason to keep the Griffoh in hand. It doesn't do anything, right? So I ash the Mind Shuffle, and now from here, here's a thought, right? We have access to both engines, right? We have a Mind Shuffle on field, and we have a Deception of the Sinful Spoils. We don't have to use Zena to go for, what do you call it? We don't have to use Zena to go for Advent. In this kind of scenario, we would normally go Zena to go for Albion, and the Souls can send the Advent instead, right, when we have 2-engine access. However, access to one of those engines did get Ash. So what we should be thinking about instead is we don't need Virtuous access. What we can do is we can go Soul send Advent, right, to get access to Anti-Spell, and then we can go Zena send Skull to get access to our other engine that protects the Anti-Spell, the Ritual engine, right? In this case, they have drawn Anti-Spell Fragrance, so it does not matter at all, and we can watch the entire combo play out. However, if they had not, they could still get to it, and they could still get to Ritual engine, even through Ash, and that's something to think about, because your Mind Shuffle will be getting Ash a lot. They discard Anti-Spell, you know, misclick, but, like, think about how you can use Zena in creative ways. Think about how you can use Souls in creative ways. The Souls Pharaonic Advent synergy is one of the best reasons to play Pharaonic Advent over like Spell Canceller, over like Christia, over other nonsense enablers. And you have to take advantage of it when you can. But this combo goes exactly how you expect this combo to go, right? Boop, boop, beep, bop, beep, bop. There's an argument here that it is completely pointless to go Firewall, add back Black Chaos, right? Because what's the point? You're just going to add it back later anyways. You could add back Black Chaos just to link it off into a Zena here. And then you keep the Ilya Sylvia on field, which I think is what you should do. But I think ultimately the distinction does not matter that much. You're going to get it back anyways because in about 3 seconds, Skull is going to send a ritual spell that is able to add back the Black Chaos. In either case, it doesn't matter that much because at this point, your opponent has like hit every choke point they possibly could, right? You've been through every choke point. Doesn't matter. You're not getting hit by anything at this point. The Ilya just has to be on field by the end of the combo, which no matter what, it will be, right? Because Quartet in Bloom is a broken card that deserves to be banned for everything it's done to society. At some point, you may have noticed that Dueling Book has lost track of the anti-spell. I don't know what or when that happened. It just disappears sometimes because Dueling Book is a bad app. But Quartet in Bloom here is just going to revive Ilya Sylvia. It's going to revive, I assume, probably... It don't matter, right? It revives the SP and Ilya Sylvia here. This Black Chaos should also be on the field. You can see in the logs that it's on the field. Why there's one in hand still. Again, Dueling Book is not a great application for replay reviews. You have to go step by step. It's very annoying. I can't hit the fast forward button as much as I would like to, but you know, you get the point here. At this point, I lose the game regardless, right? Because one of the sets is Anti-Spell Fragrance, not Magician of Black Chaos. And they draw into Ash just for the BM, right? I draw into Sloth. In draw phase, they do all the standard nonsense, right? Mind Shuffle, add Skull Archfiend, discard Diabellstar, chain Diabellstar effect, pitch Skull Archfiend, chain link 1 Archfiend, chain link 2 Diabellstar, and then a flip anti-spell. Boop, 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 boop. There's no way for me to win from here. We can think about it. Special Diabellstar, use effect, gets SP, doesn't matter, right? Special Diabellstar, don't use effect, go to battle, heal over Ilya, they have lethal on board. So, yep. Well, that's it. Not a really interesting video from like a gameplay perspective, but a very interesting video from a how to combo perspective. So think about that while you're comboing. That's about it. Hope you don't play the mirror at the WCQs. The mirror sucks. Good luck. Bye.